Hello everyone and welcome back. I am Duke Silver. Today we are playing Mask, and before we get started, I just wanted to say now that the dust has settled on the 2022 competitive season, we did end up in 15th place in the fall champs. So we did miss top 8 and a world's invite by just a couple of points in that tournament, which is a little bit disappointing just in the short term, but in the grand scheme of things, we ended up in 12th place overall in the pro club. So yeah, I just wanted to say I appreciate everyone that's supported me by coming and watching my tournament streams live, or anyone that's supporting me in the comments section. I just you guys are all awesome, and I appreciate you, and I just wanted to take a second to say that. But yeah, so let's get into this game. We are Mask. It's 3.0. We just fired off our first It Was All a Dream into an apocalypse, and we're gonna take a pig here and an egg. The egg is basically gonna be just a combat spell. We're just gonna basically hope that it can help us win the fight in a way that we can keep our pig gold, and we do. We pop the Sad Drax secret stash nice and early, so that's fantastic. And yeah, get an extra couple gold, and then we just sell off our non-evil stuff and put together 3 pairs and an evil queen, all very on theme. So yeah, we're off to a very strong tempo start here. With the double black cats, this queen gets big enough to clean up the rest of their board there, keeping us nice and healthy. And we even find the triple for the vampire there. So here, I mean, treasure map is so hard to pass up, but the fact that there's 2 Princess Peeps in the shop means this Eye of Ares is super good, especially with the black cats. Just being able to generate a bunch of tokens with high attack that are going to be able to trade is just really powerful from a tempo perspective. So that's what we're going to go with there. And it's just a little bit early for us to be focusing on treasure map, and like, as Apocalypse, of course, like, we just want to keep our health high. We don't want to be chasing triples too often. Speaking of triples, we do get to triple our Princess Peep here, though. This is a pretty abysmal treasure selection. We're going to take Bad Moon. I mean, it's going to... like, because we have the Eye of Ares, we're gonna be getting consistent slays with our Ogre Princess we just picked up, as well as the Golden Vampire here. So it's going to be a little bit of scaling. Not that it's really going to matter, as we are Apocalypse, but I mean, we can always dream out of Apocalypse if things go like really well as far as slay goes. Yeah, Eye of Ares is kind of an interesting treasure. I mean, obviously it's incredible with ranged characters and tokens, but honestly, in slay comps, like Eye of Ares can help you get your slays, and it's something that not a lot of people really consider in slay comps. But yeah, like we're gonna see here, it's gonna help us get some consistent slays. Our Eye of Ares specifically on Trophy Hunter is a treasure that I really like a lot. Just because you get so much value out of Trophy Hunter slays, that the Eye of Ares giving the bonus to the other side is generally negated by getting all that power from your last breath slays. Alright, and then we get another level 3 triple here, and I think it's going to be Sarcophagus. Sting is interesting. Sting's very good on Apocalypse, because I mean, once we flip our board into our level 6s, like, there's a lot of things that Sting does really well. But we're going to go with the Sarcophagus again, and just in the interest of tempo, even though we're still at 40. I think it's worth it to just keep prioritizing tempo here. Things can turn around kind of in an instant. This Eye of Ares setup is working really well so far, though. Another really good Eye of Ares unit is this Court Wizard, of course, because I mean, getting free attacks from our 9 power ranged character is obviously going to be very good. And that is a very large Juliet coming out of the Romeo there, but we do manage to take it down thanks to our range and Eye of Ares stats. Alright, there's an experience spell, which we are just going to jam. I didn't want to take this triple for the Black Cat. You actually go down a gold, even if you skip the treasure, just because you don't have 2 things to sell anymore. But there's a triple for the Ogre Princess, which, I mean, at this point in the game, we are interested in a treasure map, if we can find one. Unfortunately, we don't find one here, so we're just going to skip there and refill our board with a 2-drop. We did sell down for it, just because we're probably getting 6 very, very soon. Hopefully next turn we find an experience spell early. And yeah, finding a treasure map in that spot would have just been incredibly valuable. And again, we have such high health that we could have afforded to play down a character there, especially with our summons. All right, now it's just the hunt for experience here. All right, we do find a chicken, which is going to be it's gold neutral if we skip the treasure. There's a skipping stone, but not quite what we want. We are going to take the big book of spells, which lets us see extra spells every roll, which gives us higher chance to find experience, and we find it on the first roll. So things go very well there. And honestly, we get a really decent set of units on our level 6 transformation here. And one obviously very, very excellent thing about Apocalypse being our first dream is we get to dream out next turn. Because generally you want to find a hero switch once you've hit level 6 on Apocalypse, just to try and get a hero power. Just add some power that you don't necessarily have to invest board slots into. So like, I'm not like specifically looking for hero changes once I flip into our level 6 comp, but I mean, if it comes up naturally, then generally we want to. And because we have this sarcophagus and this bad moon, I mean, bad moon's probably not going to do anything for us for the rest of the game, but because we have the sarcophagus anyways, we went with Celestial Tiger there. Because I mean, and then we've got the double pumpkin here. We're just going to be able to just throw a lot of damage around with all these summons, as well as we got the pair of Princess Peas, which I've said before I really, really like in Pumpkin Comp, as I feel like it shores up one of the big weaknesses of Pumpkin Comp, which is just stats, of course. Fights go on a little bit long with all these laser beams going across, but we do eventually get there. And we're sitting at 43, feeling pretty good. I don't think we've seen a couple of these opponents in a while, so we're not really sure what they have, but we're down to a top 4 already, which means that they've probably assembled something pretty strong. At this point, we're just trying to find we're trying to find Evil Twin. Evil Twin is basically the thing we want most right now. Obviously, we want to triple these evil units, of course. Like, we want to triple the pumpkin. We wouldn't mind Oni Tyrants. We definitely want another Boomhilda to put behind the Empress P here, but yeah, this Fallen Angel has assembled a really, really interesting comp here. They've got Curse Throne and a golden Oni Tyrant, and a board full of royals that are also monsters. So it's a very interesting build. It's definitely a very niche build. It's something I've tried to assemble a few times, but generally, like, the amount of setup it takes and the amount of time that you have to set it up in advance, it's just too much. So it's really cool that they got to assemble that, and they hand us our first loss. It's definitely not what we wanted. Again, we're casting every Drink Me potion here. We're seeing 3 spells. We want to find Evil Twin. One of the reasons we're having a hard time finding units, of course, is because one of our shop slots is taken up by the 3rd spell, which is kind of one of the reasons that the big book is not that great on Tiger, just because you get to see less units. So unless you like really, really want to see spells, then I generally try and avoid it. And we are able to sell down for a golden Empress P here. We didn't find our Evil Twin that we wanted, but this is not a bad start. And we got rid of Bad Moon first before the big book of spells, because again, we still wouldn't mind finding Evil Twins for our Empress P, or even an Evil Twin on this Green Knight might be something that we'd be interested in. And yeah, because we know the opponents are probably quite strong, we just don't have the time to invest in trying to get that Hercules to go off. So that's why we abandoned it in favor of the Empress P triple there. And yeah, fortunately the Empress P put stats onto our Boomhilda there, otherwise we would have taken a lot more damage there. But we were down a unit there, so it was pretty risky. We took a pretty big chunk of health again for taking that risk. And we got an Excalibur out of our Pandora's box. So like Excalibur is a fine treasure as long as you find units. And again, with this big book of spells, it's just making things a little bit awkward because we're seeing so few or so many less units than we would normally. All right, we go for the shard on the Green Knight, and it turns into a Boomhilda, which is exactly the thing that I wanted to hit outside of like a pumpkin or something. But even a pumpkin in that spot would have been pretty bad because we would have been down a couple units. And then we just picked up a Wombats just to kind of fill the gap for now, just to try and make sure that we don't take too much damage here. And I mean, a golden Wombat in front of a Boomhilda is pretty strong. And yeah, you can see the size of these Boomhildas and how much work they do with the Empress P in the pumpkin comp. Having 100 power attackers that are protected by pumpkin tokens can just be very, very potent. Now, unfortunately, we're probably not going to be able to find any more triples, which means we're stuck with this big book of spells for the rest of the game. So we're locking the Lancelot here, just because again we really just want to get rid of this big book of spells for now, or if we can. This opponent that has the Oni Tyrant and Cursed Throne set up has now added a Mirror to their comp, so they've gotten significantly stronger than last time we saw them. Because yeah, obviously even 1/1 versions are still monsters, so every time they attack they're going to get plus 26, plus 26, so it's just a really huge amount of stats for them. So again, really interesting comp that they've assembled here. Alright, and if the attacks go the other way, we get a tie there, but we do end up losing that fight. Fortunately, we take the minimal amount of damage. We're at 12 HP. There's a golden Boomhilda that we're going to add immediately. And also we're going to fire off this Mix-a-Wizzle, which turns into a golden pumpkin, which is fantastic. Again, we want this treasure, but I don't know that we can afford it. Because we lost that last fight, I don't think we can afford to even play this Lance. We need to just present our strongest board here. Otherwise, we could just be in trouble. So we're just gonna, we end up playing the 3 pumpkins and the Oni Tyrant. The Oni Tyrant gets Pig-O'd, which is not that big a deal, especially since Oni Tyrant is in the front. It's not upgraded or anything, so it's really just another level 6 character. So yeah, all these tokens spawning in front of our Boomhildas and these extra sarcophagus hits is gonna hopefully be enough for us to chunk down these opposing characters. And they are just enough. We win with 1 unupgraded unit left. Alright, we take another golden Boomhilda, just adding a ton more attack onto our Empress P, which is going to in turn give it to our Boomhildas. And then we took a golden Oni Tyrant, so we don't have the other pumpkin anymore. Also, we're going to cast the Wormroot there. Basically, we just wanted to get the pumpkin out of lightning bolt range, which is why I placed it there. Although it's possible I should have just went with one of the golden Boomhildas. They might just be more valuable than the pumpkins. So I'm not entirely sure about that. Also, they're kind of farming level 5 treasures out of their Lancelot that keeps popping up, or it gets popped up with the mirror in front of the Boomhilda and the singing sword buff. But fortunately, all our stats from our Empress P and our sarcophagus hits are enough for us to take down that very interesting comp. Shout out to the opponent for assembling a very cool looking comp, but unfortunately for them, just wasn't quite enough. Our Excalibur and Pumpkin Scam Evil P build was just too much for them to handle, just by a little bit. So But yeah, if you enjoyed this or found it educational at all, please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps the channel, and I really appreciate it. Yeah, I don't think I really have anything else to say, really. We are on the road to 500 subscribers. We're 38 away as of recording this, so once we get there, I will be giving away 2 700 gem codes, and yeah, once we hit that, then I'll figure out when the next giveaway is, because I mean, playing in the fall champs and consistently day 2ing these tournaments, I've been kind of building up a lot of codes for gems here that I'm eager to give away. I'll be giving away some codes on my Twitch stream as well, so if you want to follow me over there, the link will be in the description and in the pinned comment. And with all that being said, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow.